Welcome to the 36th presentation hosted by Almond Travel, CARP, and for tonight, Barbados, held every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Atlantic time into late June. One more presentation on women's travel on June 29th. If you know anybody who is a solo traveler, female, might want to pass the word along to tune in for that. We're going to resume presentations in early October, and that'll give us some time to enjoy our beautiful Nova Scotia summer and early fall. Please check the CARP Travel website for details. As in the past, this presentation is being recorded and will be on the CARP Travel website shortly afterwards. A little bit about us, as I do at the beginning of each of our presentations. We've been in business since 2003, so a little over 18 years. One of our major focuses during that time was destination weddings. We've done a total of 130 destination weddings across Canada. And how that translates into the CARP demographic, of course, is anniversaries. If you have a special anniversary coming up and have a group of people that you would like to take down south or anywhere, I certainly have the experience to be able to help you with that. Also, we focus on Caribbean vacations. As a result of our experience with destination weddings, we visited a lot of the Caribbean area countries. And whenever we visit an area for 7 days or 10 days or whenever we're there, we build in a number of resort visitations to be able to check them out in terms of destination weddings or vacations. So we have not only a lot of experience with countries, but also with many of their resorts too. One of our other specialties is Florida travel. We have expertise in the theme parks, so Disney, Universal Studios, Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, and Universal. So those parks are very large, and we have stayed on property at virtually all of those, and can advise you as to your vacation to those parts. River cruises, another particular specialty for us. We've done 10 different itineraries around the world, 2 in Vietnam, Red River and the Mekong, 1 in China, the Yangtze. We've done the Nile in Egypt. We've done the Mississippi in the United States on a sternwheeler, and we've done 4 itineraries, European cruises, France, Germany, Netherlands, and so on. So we can help you with that as well. Ocean cruises, we've done our best to take the popular itineraries so we can advise people as to what to expect on those itineraries as well. Coach tours, the final sort of specialty that we deal with. We deal with the most of the large companies and some very well-known small companies as well, and can help you with that as well. Travel conditions. Well, I'm really happy to say that here in Nova Scotia today, there have been 0 new cases, COVID cases, following a day yesterday where we had 4. So it's all trending in the right direction. I myself will be receiving my 2nd vaccination the end of this week, and all vaccinations have virtually been moved forward by about a full month. So they were hoping that everybody who wanted to be vaccinated in Nova Scotia would be done by September. Very good chance for that to be done in August now. And we're hearing reports of Canada, as well as the provinces, Nova Scotia, changing their regulations for people traveling throughout the country and ultimately to different countries as well. So that bodes very well for us to be able to resume our travel plans. We are connected with CARP, Canadian Association of Retired Persons, through Bill Van Gorder. I was involved with a charitable organization that Bill helped to organize, 100 Men Who Give a Damn. We were in operation for about 4 years, total volunteer, so every cent that was raised went to the organizations. There was no overhead. As a result of my 4 years involvement with Bill, he asked me if, first of all, he asked me if I would book a couple of trips for him, and I did so, a river cruise and a Rocky Mountaineer, both high-end trips. And as a result of the service, he asked me if I would be interested in representing CARP Nova Scotia as their official travel agency. We're quite happy to say yes. Unfortunately, that happened just at the beginning of COVID. So instead of the live presentations that I was planning to do, we ended up doing these webinars. And as I say, we have about 35 or 36 done and recorded at the CARP Travel website now. Bill Van Gorder is the COO, Chief Policy Officer for CARP National, as well as the founding chair for CARP Nova Scotia, in addition to being senior spokesman for CARP in the Maritimes. That's where our connection is, and we're happy to be involved with this. So enough about me. I'd like to introduce Jason Yearwood. He's the Business Development Officer for Canada of Barbados Tourism Marketing Incorporation, who will take some time to talk about what tourists can enjoy off-resort while in the various popular regions of Barbados. He will be followed by two resort representatives who will talk a bit about the resorts that they represent. Lane Carnegie, president of CanLink, based in Canada, who represents the interests of Ocean Hotels Group, Barbados, and Omar Carrington, group sales manager, all-inclusive Marriott International, based in Barbados, representing the Elegant Hotels on the island. So Jason, if you could take over, please.
Hey, good evening, Danny. Thank you so much for that introduction and those few words. Good evening to all the participants attending the call. I just had to make a quick adjustment there on my screen. You know, sometimes technology takes you for a loop. So Danny, can you let me know when you see the presentation again? Just give me a thumbs up. I hope that everyone is doing well and ready to get to Barbados, albeit virtually for this evening at the moment, but hopefully as things continue to, you know, get better, hopefully we can all be in Barbados in the physical. All right. So can you see the presentation? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. All right, let's go here from the beginning. All right, here we go. So first off the bat, I once again want to thank Danny and you know, for this opportunity to have Barbados, you know, engage you this evening. I want to thank you, Danny, once again for the opportunity, you and your wife Debbie, and of course the members of the CARP Association for having us. Quite a lot of information we will get into this evening, but nothing to, you know, fill your brain too much or explode your mind, but we'll get into a bit of it. So I want you to remember that this presentation and other presentations will be recorded and placed on the website, so you can always catch up on the recording. If you miss anything or had any questions that you think the presentation may answer, anything like that, you can always rewatch the video on the website. And of course, Danny and Debbie, they're there to assist you with any further questions that you may have. Now let's get right into the presentation. And for all my presentations, I always like to start with a nice video welcoming you to Barbados, albeit virtually, but giving you that Barbados feeling, okay? So here we go.
I'm from a place we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. We'll search many places, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open. This place here is the sweetest place, my culture you can eat on fire.
Barbados is a beautiful island in the Caribbean that represents many things for many people. It is the perfect holiday getaway, a foodie paradise, the birthplace of rum, and the home of Rihanna. Welcome to Barbados.
There we have it. Welcome to Barbados. I don't know about you, but I haven't been home in over a year, obviously for obvious reasons. And I mean, whenever I see that video, it always gives me chills. Like the hair on my hand stands up because it's so refreshing to just see views of home and you know, just the feeling and the vibes that you have in Barbados. And I'm sure that for those of you who have been to Barbados before, you may share that same feeling that I have. For those of you who have not yet been to the island, trust me, you want to get down as soon as it is possible to safely do so to really enjoy that Barbadian experience. So I always start my presentations too with this little joke right here, the bees of the Caribbean. Now, there are many bees in the Caribbean. You see it right here, Bahamas, Barbuda, Bermuda, Bonaire. People get us mixed up all the time, but we are Barbados, okay? Right there in yellow, Barbados. And we have a Caribbean map right here that shows you where we're located. So right where that yellow arrow is, you can see our location in relation to the other islands of the Caribbean. So Barbados, we are in the Southern Caribbean, the easternmost island in the region on the Eastern Caribbean side. So you will notice that a lot of the other islands like St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Lucia, they're in what you call the volcanic arc. So those islands are mountainous, volcanoes, waterfalls, that kind of thing. Barbados, we are not made from, you know, volcanic landforms, but we are more coral limestone. So that's why we sit on the far right-hand side of the volcanic arc, all right? So that's where we are located. Some more quick facts about Barbados right here. As I mentioned to you just now when we were discussing the Caribbean map, Barbados is the easternmost Caribbean island. So on the right of Barbados, to the east of Barbados, there is just pure sea, no other landmass, no other islands are to the right of us. So we have, you know, as you go further east from us, you will go as far as Africa if you're looking at the world map. So there's no other landmass to our right, okay? Our population, we're about 280,000, between 280, 300, you know, of course, numbers would fluctuate, but we're just about that average there. And our size, we are just 166 square miles, 21 miles long, 14 miles wide. So we're very, 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 very small. You can cover Barbados by vehicle in a couple of hours. You know, if you're exploring, you can touch every parish. So we're a very small country. The photo there shows you another small snippet of Barbados, the eastern side, the Atlantic Ocean, which we are washed by in the east, and on the western side, the Caribbean Sea, and shows you some of our towns and so forth, okay? Moving on some more, as I mentioned before, our landscape, we are coral-based and a flat terrain. We are also a non-volcanic island, as I mentioned to you before, and we have contrasting coastlines because there's no other landmass to the right of us. And as the most easterly island, we have the Atlantic Ocean on the eastern side of Barbados and the Caribbean Sea on the western side. Our language is English, with dialect spoken by most. So I know Omar is on the call from the Marriott team. If you were to catch Omar and I in a conversation, just relax, cool, perhaps speaking about sports, anything like that, you'd think that we're not speaking English, but it really is English. So not to get scared, Barbados, we speak English. Time difference, we are the same as Toronto. So right now in Toronto, it is 5:45. I know in Atlantic Canada it's 6:45. But when it's daylight saving time and the clock goes back 1 hour here in Toronto, Barbados will be 1 hour ahead. All right. And when it comes to driving on the island, Barbados drives on the left-hand side, which we believe is the correct and the right way to drive. But we know that with our Canadian family, that always brings a joke to it because you guys sometimes, you know, I get questions from agents or our clients and they can't fathom driving on the other side. All right. Airlift. No, pre-COVID, we would have had Air Canada servicing Barbados daily, and WestJet was 4 times a week with some added service in the winter season on Air Canada. Obviously, COVID came, and you know a lot has happened within the travel and tourism industry. We're going to get too much into that, but at present, only Air Canada is servicing the island once a week on Sundays, okay? But as I said earlier, as we continue to go through this situation that is a pandemic, and we can see that things are, you know, on a trajectory of improving, things can change. So I encourage you to, you know, liaise with Danny and Debbie for more information and updates on service schedules as things begin to pick up in the coming months. All right. So we hope that things continue to pick up steam and we can get back to, you know, traveling a bit more with a bit more ease on restrictions. Okay. So connect with Danny and Debbie, who will keep their ears to the ground. We will contact them and give them the updates, and they will certainly pass it on to you. All right. So I think speaking about the airlift gives us a great segue into the Barbados travel protocols. Of course, we're in a pandemic, and understanding the protocols is very, very key for any country, all right, and for any person thinking to travel to a country. So this is a snapshot of the Barbados travel protocols website. So we have our information here. You see right under Barbados where home is, we have home, immigration customs form, the FAQs, the approved accommodation, mobile testing, all the different segments of the different categories where we have information surrounding traveling to Barbados. Okay. And this, before we get into more details about the protocols, let me just give you a quick glance of Barbados's COVID situation. So overall, the island has conducted 180,265 COVID tests, and out of that, 4,045 have been positive. So this goes back to last year, March, when many countries around the world were faced with COVID situations. At present, we have 10 persons currently in isolation with active cases. And isolation, we revamped what used to be an old hospital location in St. Lucie, Harrison's Point. That was renovated and retrofitted and fitted with the different equipment that we need. So that has been designated one of the main isolation centers in St. Lucie. And we have other locations too for isolation. Make sure that those persons who may test positive get the medical attention that they need and that they can safely isolate away from the public. So we're not shunning them, but obviously we isolate them so as we keep a control and a handle over the COVID situation, okay? So 10 persons are currently in isolation with active cases. Now, I know last week, our Prime Minister had a press conference, and over time, many restrictions have been eased. I believe that at the end of this month, all curfews will be lifted. So Barbados has been able to get back to usual activity progressively over the last couple of months. And I know that they are going to be looking at having fans back at events, that kind of thing. So we have been progressing quite well in the past couple of months. In terms of the vaccination program, at least 92,071 persons, or approximately 45.7% of the adult population, have received their first dose, and at least 66,000 or 437, or approximately 33% of the population have received their second dose, thus being fully vaccinated. So Barbados continues to, roll out the vaccination program and continues to do its part, where we are continuing to ensure the safety of Barbadians, which has, an effect on creating a safe environment for persons traveling to the island. Okay. So going back to the protocols, we saw the picture of the website, the screenshot of the website, how it looks. So here are some key takeaways of the protocols. Right here in yellow, we have the website. So www.barbadostravelprotocols.com. That is important. So I encourage you to write it down and keep it in a safe place. The protocols are always updated. So if even you're watching a recording of this in the future, know that this information would have been updated over time. Every couple of weeks, it is reviewed by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And, they continue to have discussions with the different shareholders and ministries, including the Ministry of Tourism. Okay. So bear in mind that this website is updated quite frequently. So I encourage you to, check in regularly to keep abreast of the information happening. Of course, Danny and Debbie, they're there. They can assist with this. They know how to contact me, and definitely we can share information that way as well. So there'll be a great source of information also. But here are some key takeaways. You have to complete the online customs and immigration form, and this form should be completed 24 hours prior to arrival. And you can upload your negative COVID-19 PCR test result. Point number 2, you can see that it is mandatory for all persons, whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, to enter with a negative COVID-19 PCR test from an accredited facility, taken 3 days prior to travel, all right, prior to arrival to Barbados. So you will upload that information. You have that information there. Make sure that you follow through and get your test taken within 3 days. All right. And then test results should be submitted electronically, as we said before. And you're also encouraged to bring a physical copy with you. So if you can print it or you can save it on your phone that you can show the health officers at the airport, that would be great. And then the website, the last point, provides information on all protocols to be followed for all categories. So you have their approved isolation accommodation, approved transportation services, FAQs, second testing processes, and much more. So this website is very, 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 very important. I cannot emphasize it enough. It's very important. We're keeping updated on the travel information to Barbados is concerned, okay? So just another snapshot here, the protocols, as I mentioned, they continue to be updated all the time. And from our recent updated protocols, we have information for vaccinated travelers and those who are not vaccinated, all right? So for vaccinated travelers, you will get your second COVID-19 test on arrival once the one you entered with, taken 3 days prior to your trip, has been validated. And you will just isolate for 1 or 2 days until those results come back. And once that result for your second test comes back negative as a fully vaccinated traveler, then you're free to go. It is important to note that what Barbados considers fully vaccinated is that you got your second dose, but 14 days prior to your trip. So we're saying don't get your second dose and then you're traveling like the next day. We wouldn't consider that as fully vaccinated. We know that the vaccines, take time to get into the system, and the recommended time is like 14 days. So a fully vaccinated person is one who will have gotten their second dose more than 14 days or more prior to their travel. All right, so that's important. For those who are unvaccinated, you have to isolate for 5 days, and then you get your second test, and then once that results come back, then you're free to go. All right. Cruising protocols, Barbados we have approved the guidelines to resume cruise operations for vaccine-only cruises, all right, for both home porting and transit calls. So we're only dealing with cruises that are fully vaccinated, that have passengers fully vaccinated, and the list of requirements for the entry protocols for those travelers is also found on the website, but just select travel by sea. So on the website, you will have traveling by air and traveling by sea. So if you're a cruising consumer, just click on travel by sea for the protocols you'd have to follow as a fully vaccinated cruise passenger. All right. And speaking about cruises, the Barbados's cruise industry continues to grow leaps and bounds. For the last couple of years, we have been the home port to many cruises coming to the Caribbean. We were the home port to 7 different cruise lines in 2018 and 2019. But then this year, we are seeing different cruise lines now wanting to home port in Barbados. And that is because during the height of the COVID situation last year, Barbados became a safe haven for many cruises that were stranded at sea after CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, suspended cruising, and many islands were not allowing cruises to dock. But Barbados, we gave a humanitarian effort. We allowed them to dock in Barbados, and we facilitated the safe repatriation of crew and passengers. So on your left here, you see the Ida Perla of the German cruise line in 2020, last year, April. When they were leaving Barbados, they lit up their ship. Thank you, BB, with love. And because of our humanitarian efforts, on the right, you see that Barbados, we got the Sea Trade Cruise Destination of the Year award last year. All right. And we're very, very proud of that. We're very happy to have assisted persons to get back home safely. So because of all of this, as I said, we have been attracting some new business. So you see right here, under the cruising segment update, we have Royal Caribbean International. We have the deployment of Grandeur of the Seas in December of this year. And they will have an 18-week program where they'll be cruising from Barbados. We have Seabourn, different lines under them, doing 7-day cruises starting from next month. God's will. And then French line, Le Dumont de Ville, I hope I pronounced that correct. From next year, February, they will also be home porting in Barbados. And because Barbados has been a home porting destination for the past couple of years, and now our cachet, our identity as a home porting destination has increased, we are promoting heavily the cruise and stay program, where you can come to the island, you can stay for a couple of days pre or post your cruise and enjoy, both segments of travel on land and on sea. And the key component of that are the accommodation partners. I am so happy to have with me today two of our partners, Ocean Hotels Group, represented by Elaine Carnegie, and Marriott International All-Inclusive, represented by Omar Carrington. And I know full well that they'll be taking advantage of the cruise and stay program offered in Barbados. But outside of that, they have much more to offer. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and allow for Elaine up first to give you some information about the offerings at the Ocean Hotels Barbados.
Thank you. Can you see my screen okay? Good. And you can hear me good? Perfect. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. And thank you, first of all, for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Barbados and the fantastic hotel offerings that we have there. I actually just want to start by saying that I'm getting my second shot tomorrow, so I'm excited. So that might mean listening to Jason that I'm going to be in Barbados maybe 14 days from tomorrow. That's what I think I might do. Anyway, here to talk to you a little bit about Ocean Hotels Barbados, which is a collection of 3 beautiful properties: the Seabreeze Beach House, South Beach Hotel, and the O2 Beach Club and Spa. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of information on each, because normally when I do this, I could be about an hour, but I know I'll be cut off, so I won't do that today. Take a few minutes on each hotel, something to offer to each of you. To start off, just to talk a little bit about the location. All 3 properties are located on the south coast of Barbados, so very close to the airport, about 15 minutes away, 20 minutes to Bridgetown, 5 minutes to the ever popular Gap, and 10 minutes to Oistins Fish Market, which is a lot of fun for those of you that have been to Barbados before. I have many times and always enjoy Oistins on a Friday night. You can enjoy the fresh fish caught that day with any of the other tourists that are touring around the island, and also with the locals as well. So that's a fun thing to do. Keep that in mind when you're going. So first, we're going to start with Seabreeze Beach House. This is one of our 2 beautiful all-inclusive luxury properties that we represent with Ocean Hotels. It's a great property if you're looking obviously for all-inclusive. We're only about 122 rooms, which is really nice right now for everybody who is looking to travel or booking travel, wanting something boutique, lovely and luxury, but at the same time with a lot to offer. So you'll hear a little bit about the restaurants, the facilities, and with only 122 rooms, you're never going to have a problem getting into a restaurant or getting a chair by the pool or by the beach. Definitely not a crowded scenario, something with space for everyone. This is just a little bit of a sketch on the layout of the property. So I won't go into what everything is in each spot, but wanted to show you, because this is the type of information that we will supply to Danny to show to you where the restaurants are located or where the rooms are located in whatever you're choosing to stay at the property. A number of different options here. So again, with 122 rooms, it's great that we have 3 swimming pools to choose from, a number of different restaurants. I need to change this. Actually, that 4 is actually 6 restaurants, 2 beaches, and great whether you're traveling alone, solo, couples, or families, a number of different accommodations to choose from at this beautiful property. And of course, you need to see the visuals. So a lot of white sand, blue water all over Barbados. And again, showing you here that it's very comfortable, lots of space in any of the 2 beautiful beaches that we have at Seabreeze. A great shot of the look of the property from the water. So when you're out on your paddleboard or you're sailing, this is what you'll see. I wanted to make sure to show you this too, because again, you can see the layout. You're not going to have to go far to get to anything. We are not a great big high-rise property. We are not a property with 500 or 600 other people. Very important right now to know that, you know, you are in a mix of 100 and something rooms. So very easy to get to any of the number of restaurants, swimming pools, water sports, everything that we offer here. I love this shot too, because this is showing you that it really is a special warm welcome when you are coming into the property from the garden walkway where you come in, and you're welcomed with, you know, a calming effect. It's not a great big lobby. It's a very laid back luxury feel when you're welcomed by the team, and then you can see right through to the water views as well. As I mentioned, a lot of different room options here. So we have two collections at Seabreeze. We have the classic collection, so a number of different room accommodations you can choose from, standard, ocean view, right up to 2-bedroom suites. So this is great if you're traveling with friends or family. We have 2-bedroom suites that you can share if that's something you want to do. Lovely layout on the ground floor, very calming, beautiful colors, white and blue, just like the water and the sun. Showing you a little bit of the room there too, and the lovely view. So that's just a little glimpse of 2 of our beautiful pools. So lots of space, lots to enjoy when you're staying here. And then our luxury collection, which is another group of rooms that we have at the hotel, completed in 2018. We also refer to them as the Mahogany Suites near our Mahogany restaurant and right in the center of the property. So here you can choose from your junior suites for 2 people, 2 bedrooms, and right up to 3 and 4 bedrooms. So again, you know, since the pandemic, we're finding a lot of consumers are traveling with family. They're finally able to get away together. So looking at doing that. So here you've got a choice of a room for 2, room for 1, or sharing 3, 4 bedroom suites as well. So here you get included your pre-stocked minibar, your turn down service, upgraded coffee, canapes, and a personalized concierge. So 8 or 9 different room choices when you're staying at this beautiful property. As you can see, oceanfront for sure. Lovely washrooms, high-end luxury here. And this is definitely oceanfront. In fact, this is the room that I stayed in the last time I was here, and late in the afternoon, early evening, you could hear the saxophone player playing outside, light entertainment, so very relaxing. A number of different restaurants. As I said, 6 restaurants and a few bars as well. This is the newest addition to Seabreeze, which is the Rum Shop, which is similar to the experience you have when you're, you know, driving around the island, as our friends from Barbados will tell you. Every time I go, I always tour around and you see people enjoying the local rum shop. So what the hotel has done is incorporated that into the hotel. So here you can see they're probably getting a lesson on, you know, making some great rum cocktails. They can also grab a sandwich for lunch. And then it's turned into sort of a fun atmosphere in the evening as well. So here they're grabbing a cocktail, and maybe, you know, you can see some vendors here that the hotel has brought in. You can buy some local arts and crafts too. So that's a lot of fun, day or night at the cafe. And then our Flying Fish restaurant is our casual spot by the pool and the beach. And we have Aquaterra, which is more of a high-end, you know, Caribbean seafood feel. Another one of our great restaurants. And also the Mahogany, where this is where you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So again, I like to show a little shot of each of them because for a 120 room property, this is a lot of choice for dining and having a cocktail and just a lot of space, which is really, really important. Another one of our pools by the Classic Collection. So again, lots of areas to enjoy. 1, 2, 3 pools, lap pool and lounging area as well. And we do some weddings. So if anyone is interested, if you have family that's looking for a great spot for weddings, or even if you're doing a renewal of vows, this is a great spot to be because we only do 1 wedding a day. So unlike maybe some other very larger properties that might be doing a few ceremonies in a day, you get to choose where you want to have your special ceremony on the day. You're not competing with anybody else, and your family member isn't. So a great choice for that as well. Then we go to South Beach. This is a property that is about 49 rooms total. So this is an ideal property if you want to explore the island and you are not going to be interested in an all-inclusive. You want to just have a great room, and these even have kitchens. So this is a great spot, which is right across the road from the beach. And we actually have our own chair set up on the beach. So if you're exploring the island a lot, this is a great choice for doing that. And for Canadians who like to get away for a long stay, this is a very popular choice because it's more of a 3.5-star property. So it's a little bit of a lower price point than the other two I'm mentioning that are all inclusive. Very contemporary, very clean, very renovated. So again, great for families. We actually have a lot of retired Canadians that enjoy this property, maybe for a month and a half in Barbados, but then their family will come and join them for a week or two. So it's got something for everyone, our own pool again and cocktail area, day or night. So a great choice if you're looking for a place to call home for a week or two when you're exploring the island, and also for the long stays. These are, again, just a list of the amenities that are the type of information that Danny would get from us to give to you to explain in great detail all the options that we have here. Junior suites, and also 1-bedrooms with, again, your kitchen. So grocery is nearby. They can do virtual grocery delivery and fill out some forms, get it delivered, or just go shopping and enjoy the local grocery store and bring it back to your own spot. Really beautiful contemporary feel here too. I think you would enjoy. And our last one that I'm going to talk about is our most exciting news of the year. The O2 Beach Club and Spa is our newest luxury all-inclusive option, opening this October. So perfect timing for anyone that wants to go late fall or over the festive period. We might still have a few rooms left, and into next winter. So a great all-inclusive option here as well. 130 luxury suites with, as you can see, a new building that's being added to the property with a very contemporary feel. So we like to say this is like luxury meets the beach. So you can tell from the artist renderings here that it's going to have beautiful waterways, great areas for outdoor seating as well, and lounging and relaxing, a very luxury feel with a number of different accommodation choices to choose from. This is one of them. So we've got a few different sections. This one I like to mention, if you're traveling adults only, is our luxury collection area with over 40 suites and Riverview nearby, a lot of options here. Very bright, very contemporary, luxury, but laid back luxury that you can really enjoy. Beautiful new marble bathrooms, as you can see. A lot of attention to detail because it's so brand new, opening in October. So we have up to 9 restaurants, I think, here, and bars. We have our own adult rooftop lounge area. So again, lots to choose from here. Concierge service in one of the concierge buildings. And of course, our beautiful 1,000 feet long beach as well. So that's a great spot to enjoy with a lot of space too. And the same warm welcome as all the other hotels. The first thing you see when you come in is the friendly staff, waiting to welcome you and give you all the information about this new property and how to enjoy your stay here. This is actually a shot of what's going to be the new rooftop lounge. So you can see it's very contemporary and a great spot, kind of the new spot to be when you're going to Barbados now. And again, like a very, very detailed, just a copy of our fact sheet that Danny can give you, outlining everything that's included, As you can see there, all the pools, the number of dining options, bars, up to 13 altogether if you combine the dining and the bars, a number of different accommodations, club, luxury, and concierge. So lots to choose from. And Danny can certainly help you with that. And he'll come to us for anything he might need with this. Oh, sorry. So that's it in a nutshell in the time that they've provided to me, which again, I thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak to everybody, Danny and Jason. And if anyone has any other information you need, of course, reach out to Danny and he can check with us on our promotions, our availability. All of those things are really easily accessible and able to get for you.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Very, very good presentation and everything looks great. Looking forward to being able to try out the new O2 resort. Now we're going to hand over to Omar Carrington from Marriott International. Omar, over to you.
Hi, everyone. Want to say thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to showcase the best of Barbados for sure. And again, thank you to Danielle van Alman from organizing everything. Greatly appreciate it. Now, with Elegant Hotels, basically we are now part of the Marriott International brand. Marriott International came up with this concept of pushing an all-inclusive segment. They saw how we operate in Barbados and they made the acquisition to acquire our properties. We are 7 hotels on the island, where our hotels are mostly located on the western side of the island itself. And based on that, with our hotels and the combination of Marriott International, we're not only able to offer you the luxury offering of the Caribbean being in Barbados, but also the benefits that your guests will get, or you as the agent will also get being part of the Marriott, especially when you're speaking about the Bonvoy program itself. Now, in terms of the team, yours truly, myself, I'm the property sales manager. We also have Al Oliveto. He is the contact for the Canadian market. And we also have Nancy Lopez. Her focus is mostly on groups. Now, being that we have 7 hotels on the island itself, our main focus as well as leisure travel will also be group travel. And your group could vary. It could be what we call the traditional Smurf group, or basically it could be your wedding group. It could be your incentive group itself, events group, golfing, any type of group itself. We have specialized rates and offerings and such like to benefit your particular clients. In addition to that, for leisure travel, we have a hotel to suit almost every traveler's need and occasion. Now, I know that Jason had mentioned the positioning of Barbados, so I will not go too much into detail as it pertains to this particular section here. So to give you a hotel idea of our 7 hotels, they range from 34 rooms to 161 rooms in total. Basically, with your 7 hotels that we have, 6 of them are fully all-inclusive, and then we have Connie Club, which be our bed and breakfast hotel. We have adults only options for our hotels. We also have family options for our hotels too as well. In terms of the location of our properties, as you can see from the 7 hotels we have on the island, we have 6 that are located right on the Caribbean side, which is the western side of Barbados, also known as the Platinum Coast. We are right dead center in the 2 main shopping hubs, one being Bridgetown, as you can see to the far bottom, and then we also have Old Town too as well. Being that we are strategically located in these areas, basically it gives our guests the advantage of a variation as it pertains to activities. So if you want to go into Bridgetown, that's perfectly fine. You know, you have your shopping and everything in Old Town. You have your high-end shopping. You have your nightlife, where you have 1st and 2nd Street, which is roughly about 5 to 8 minutes drive from any of our hotels. Within 1st and 2nd Street, there's a lot of late night bars, high-end lounge areas where you can just really unwind and enjoy the nightly activities of the island. Now, in terms of our 7 properties, we like to boast our signature offerings within our group. One of those signature offerings basically would be our complimentary motorized and non-motorized water sports. That's all included in your package. So you can get your water skiing, banana boat rides, tube rides, speedboat rides, that's all included. As well as non-motorized, where you have your kayaking, your snorkeling, stand-up paddling, and such like. Now, we're able to offer motorized water sports, being that on the western side of the island, the waters are very calm. They also have a lot of coral reefs and such like, so are really great for that type of activity there. Now, for those who are not really keen on the soft adventure and just want to really relax and rejuvenate, basically we have our pool and beach ambassador service. So throughout the entire day, you're relaxing on the beach. You're gonna have our ambassadors coming around to you, offer you coconut water, sorbets, ice cream, frozen fruit. All those amenities are already included into your package. So you can really unwind and really not have much to worry about as it pertains to what we have to offer. Now, being that 6 of our hotels are all-inclusive, we're giving guests the ability to enjoy our dining around program. Now, in total, we have 19 restaurants and 15 bars. With the all-inclusive, your guests can stay at one and enjoy 16 restaurants to choose from at their pleasure. It's just a matter of your guests booking those to decide which one they feel obligated to attend. In terms of getting from one property to the next, we're very happy to have what we call our water taxi. Our water taxi sails daily from our properties on the western side of the island. The only property it doesn't sail to is the Turtle Beach, which is located on the southern side of the island. However, guests can also take a taxi from the Turtle Beach to the other properties if they want to enjoy the dining around program. Now, with the dining around program, you have very unique dining offerings, which I will get into later into the presentation itself. Now, I just want to show you a short video of one of our hotels. The footage may be choppy. If it is, I will just stop the video and I'll just continue to speak more until what the hotels have to offer.
Welcome to the Lewis Hotel and Spa. My name is Kim Griffith-Lewis, General Manager of this beautiful health and wellness resort. Join me as I take you on a journey of all that we have to offer.
Okay, sorry about that. I was just a bit choppy there. Okay, thank you very much. So I hope the video wasn't too choppy there as it pertains to the Lewis Hotel and Spa. Now, to just give you an overview of each of the hotels itself, Now, as it pertains to Turtle Beach and Waves Hotel and Spa, Turtle Beach Resort is a hotel with 161 rooms. This is our mostly family-friendly hotel itself. You have various dining outlets to include coffee shop, ice cream parlor. We have our what we call our Bajan restaurant, which is called Sandtrap. We get a lot of local cuisine. You also have our main restaurant, international cuisine there too as well. And where the hotel is located is right in St. Lawrence Gap. So, sorry, close to St. Lawrence Gap. So because of that, guests can enjoy the nightly entertainment we have on property, live bands, DJ, such like, and then afterwards, just make their way into the Gap to enjoy any more festivities. Now, with the Waves Hotel and Spa, what is great about this hotel is its spa offerings. With your bookings or with your guest bookings, you can have up to 4 spa treatments complimentary with this hotel offering itself, which is a great value add to have. On property, you also have our coffee shop, you have your Asian inspired restaurant, and then our main restaurant. And in addition to the main restaurant, where it's located on paramounted views of the Caribbean Sea, we have over 70 rooms that have ocean facing itself, which gives our guests that ability to see the beauty of the Caribbean Sea there itself. Now, with our 2 other hotels, we have the Crystal Cove Hotel and the Tambourine. Both of these hotels are located on the western side of the island. Crystal Cove Hotel accommodates 88 rooms in total. This hotel gives more of a cottage feel. It's located on a gently slope, looking onto the Caribbean Sea. So every aspect of this hotel being located on a gently slope, you can really get the beautiful views of the sunset every single evening. Now, in addition to that beautiful view, we also have our wine and Vista Bar, where you on evenings you have champagne, wine, canopies, and such like served to you. That's all part of your package. And then as well, you can enjoy the beautiful food and beverage offerings with entertainment on a nightly basis. Now, with Tambourine, where Tambourine Hotel is located, we have 2 other hotels side by side to the Tambourine. Because of that, guests staying at one of these 3 hotels, which you can see here now is the Tambourine, the other hotel, basically the Treasure Beach and the House, you can really have a fantastic opportunity as it pertains to our food and beverage offering. Now, at the House, what's included into your package? You have champagne breakfast, you have evening canopies every evening during sunset. The bar is open 24 hours. You have 24-hour ambassador service. With the whole concept of the house, there's no reception desk. Basically, you have ambassadors. These are persons that will cater to your every need. It's almost similar to butler service. It's a total of 34 rooms, junior suites and 1-bedroom suites. These ambassadors basically would cater to all your basic needs itself. The same person who's going to check you in is the same person who's going to book that car hire for you. Is the same person that's going to be serving you your sorbets or canopies while you're on the beach relaxing. Now, if your guests are staying at the house and they want to enjoy a different atmosphere, they can easily walk the beach over to Tambourine or one of our pathways. And with that, there and then, they can enjoy additional activities and festivities there at that hotel. Now, in addition to that, if they want to move over to a different view or a different feel, you also have Treasure Beach, which is nearby, which they can just easily continue walking over to. Now, with the Treasure Beach Hotel, the Treasure Beach is a total of 35 rooms, all 1-bedroom suites. All rooms are facing onto the ocean. With the Treasure Beach, we also have a wine cellar. It's the only wine cellar on the western side of the island. You have wines from all over the world. You have your private dining. We boast a very excellent culinary team. And with this hotel, the Treasure Beach, we have more of an artistic type of feel in terms of the hotel. Again, outside of your food and beverage offering, you have art classes, you have complimentary art tours, which is all included into your package there. The only hotel that is not fully all-inclusive is the Connie Club Hotel. And with the Connie Club Hotel, despite not being fully all-inclusive, If your guests are staying at this property and they want to enjoy one of the other properties, it's just a supplementary charge as it pertains to the food and beverage offering. But apart from that, one of the special offerings at the Connie Club Hotel is our rum vault. We are the only hotel in Barbados that have a rum vault, where we have rums from over 150 different countries across the world. Now, with the rum vault itself is a specialized dining, very interactive. It can accommodate up to 10 persons in the vault. And with that dining experience, you have our rum ambassadors will take you through the whole concept of rum. As you know, Barbados is known as the birthplace for rum, and we try to enhance that with the rum vault offering there. Now, I try to concise all of our hotels into the presentation based on the time of 8 minutes that we were allotted, but there's so much that we have to offer itself, being that you have 7 different properties, all completely unique, all boutique style, beachfront hotels. It's just a matter of what your clients are looking for. Now, in terms of weddings, we try to maintain 1 wedding per day, as we believe that that's the focus of that particular bride. We don't like the idea of basically one bride walking into another one, or one bride seeing another wedding going on. And what is great about our hotels, especially ones that are 34 rooms and 35 rooms, excellent for buyouts. And we have done quite a few over the years, and we have quite a few for this year itself, where family and friends can have a property to their own to customize that property to exactly what they want. If they want to change our breakfast times, that's perfectly fine. The hotel is yours. You can definitely give us the idea of what you're looking for. Now, apart from weddings, there's also social groups where our hotels are located. We have lots of golf courses all around. We have the Royal Westmoreland Golf Course, which is about 5 to 8 minute drives from any of our hotels there on the western side of the island. Then you have other activities that the guests can enjoy. Our hotels have various meeting rooms. So if you have clients that want to do a business trip and such like, they can definitely come down and do their business meetings here in Barbados at any one of our hotels. We'll be very happy to accommodate any type of traveler's request that you may have. So basically, just to recap itself in terms of what else we can offer, in addition to some of the complimentary offerings I stated earlier, we offer yoga complimentary, Pilates. You have other tours, one of which is called Bait the Plate, where the chef will take your guests out fishing. This all included, and basically whatever they catch, he will bring it back. He prepared it for you. Our whole concept is to create customized and unique memories. We're not a hotel that's going to offer you just sand and beach. We're a hotel that's going to offer you long-lasting experiences that you are going to toot about from years to come. Now, because of that, what we try to maintain is a very high repeat guest turnover. We value your customers, we value their business, and no task or request is too small for us as it pertains to what you're looking for. For example, like tomorrow, we have a surprise gift where one of our customers is asking us to do a video to surprise their husband on his trip that he's going to take. So right now we are full into production to try to make that happen, because we believe that memories are everlasting. Definitely staying at one of our hotels, we're very happy to say that we definitely will deliver. And again, we are part of Marriott International. So if you need information about our hotels, please visit our website, Marriott.com. You can go into our all-inclusive link and you'll see all of the all-inclusive hotels here in Barbados itself. That's it for me. I hope I was within the time allotted, guys. But I hand it back over to you, Jason.
Thank you so much, Omar, for that presentation. And thank you once again to Elaine as well. Really appreciate you guys taking the opportunity to join us and to share information about your respective properties. And I hope that all the participants listening or those who may watch in the future can really get down to Barbados and try either one or both of these hotel groups. So much to offer right there. So I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. I think Omar, you have to finish your screen share.
Sorry.
At the top, you should see a stop screen share button.
Yeah, that's a bit of a little difficulty. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. We know how technology goes sometimes. So I hope that everyone is enjoying the presentation thus far. I'm just going to share a few more slides with you about Destination Barbados. And Omar, as he came to the end of his presentation, was speaking about the memories that they look to create at the Marriott Hotel. And I just want to use that to segue into what Barbados wants to do. We want to, give you great memories within Destination Barbados, give you that Barbados experience. So for us on the island as a destination, it's all about sharing that Barbados experience with you. It's all about creating lasting memories. So you can create memories with our partners like Elaine and Omar, but you can also create memories within Destination Barbados. And that's one of the reasons why Barbados as a tourism destination is so well known. It has a very good reputation because of the different memories that we get to create on the island. Can you guys see my screen? Yep. All right. I'm going to go from the current slide. So here we are. All right. So as I was just saying, why choose Barbados? You can choose Barbados for a number of reasons. We spoke about the accommodation available. You saw the offerings given by both Elaine and Omar. Of course, we are safe. We are safe and we have good security. We're friendly people. Omar mentioned the oldest and finest rum. These are just a snapshot of the reasons why you will want to choose Barbados as your preferred destination of travel. And so for the next few slides, we are just going to look at some of these reasons, not all of these, but some of the key things that you can enjoy in Barbados and why Barbados would be a great place for you to come and experience, a great time on the island. And first up, sugar and rum. Now, Omar mentioned it in his presentation when he was speaking about the rum vault. Barbados's history with rum goes back over 300 years. The island, as many other Caribbean islands, we were growing sugarcane and harvesting cane and producing sugar. But many years ago, as you produce sugar, you get a byproduct called molasses, and the astute businessmen that they were back in the days looked for a way to use that molasses for, financial and economic reasons. And so they came up with rum, and we have the Mount Gay rum, which is the world's oldest rum company. Now, I know. Almost every island or every location says that their rum is the oldest, their beverage is the best, but it is historically proven. We have the facts, and historians came to the island and validated it, that Barbados's Mount Gay rum is the world's oldest rum, starting in 1703. Now, historians believe that it goes back further than 1703, but they've yet to find a deed that shows an earlier date. But there is a deed that shows 1703, and the only rum pot milling house in the world was right there in Barbados. All right. Now, rum is not only a beverage for us used in different cocktails, but it's also used in cooking. You get rum cake, you get rum sauce, but it's also used in a very popular dessert. As I said, rum cake. Every Christmas, that is one of the most popular desserts that persons want to have in Barbados. Yeah. When it comes to the rum experiences, Omar mentioned the Rum Vault at Colony Club, where the rum ambassadors would educate persons on the histories of rum and pair it with your meals. But then there's also the Mount Gay rum tour. Mount Gay being the oldest rum, they have a visitor's experience. There's also St. Nicholas Abbey. There's also Foursquare Rum at Heritage Park and West Indies Rum Distillery. In her presentation, Elaine mentioned about rum shops. They have a rum shop on their property at Sea Breeze. But as she said, you drive around Barbados, you see a rum shop on almost every single corner. And this rum shop was not just to drink rum, but it was a relaxed vibe. You come out the house, you go sit at the rum shop in your neighborhood, talk with your neighbors, have a beverage, play some dominoes, some checkers, have some good food. And the rum shops were also like the go-to place to get any little household item, like some canned tuna, some biscuits, some bread, anything like that. So I know for a fact that where Omar grew up, he had a rum shop close by somewhere, somehow. I certainly did, And when you come to Barbados, you see these rum shops on every single corner. And then we also have the Morgan Lewis Sugar Mill, which is a heritage attraction, the only intact mill in the region, which played a critical role in the producing of sugar as you grind the sugar canes, right? And you see a picture of that. So here we have, just some photos of the different experiences to enjoy in Barbados. As I mentioned, Mount Gay Distilleries, the world's oldest rum. On the right-hand side, you have Foursquare Rum Distillery. They also have some tremendous rums that have been, given some awards. They won some awards at the rum shows, the international spirit shows in the last 2 years as one of the best rums in the world, best blends. We also have St. Nicholas Abbey right here on the right-hand side. And the Abbey is a historic location in Barbados, the Great House. As you see pictured there, is the third oldest Jacobean-styled architecture house in the region, and it's a plantation overall. You can tour the Abbey, embrace its history, but then you can also, if you're on the island between January and April during the sugar harvesting months, you can see how they grind the sugar and they extract that cane juice. And for them, that's how they make their rums. So Mount Gay, for example, they use molasses to make theirs, but the Abbey, they use actual sugar cane juice. Of course, you can have samples, tour the distillery. They also have a train that they recently established on the property that you can actually go around the entire plantation by train. So it's a very, very nice experience. Bottom left-hand corner, we have West Indies Rum Distillery. They were around since 1893, so historic in their own right. They have equipment that they still use that was passed down through the centuries. They still use that equipment from yesteryear, and they're producing great rums as well. They have a blend, because you can see that right there on the beach. They have a blend where they actually include a little bit of seawater in their blend. So great options to enjoy there. You have your rum shops, and of course the rum vaults at Colony Club. All right, having spoken about rum and the importance of rum to Barbados' history, we go even deeper into Barbados' history, and we can see lots of information here, whether it's monuments and statues, historic sites and museums, churches, national parks, lighthouses, fortified locations with cannons. There's lots of history to go around in Barbados. At the top right-hand side, we have the Morgan Lewis Mill. We mentioned that earlier when we spoke about rums, and the mill is the only remaining windmill of its kind that's fully intact. So if you drive around Barbados, you may find like these almost chimney-like looking structures that are derelict, but they would have been windmills back in the day, just like pictured here at the Morgan Lewis Mill. So you have your blades, and they will use the wind to blow the windmill, and that will power the machinery to actually grind the sugar cane into sugar, and you get the extractions and everything else. So this is the only windmill of its kind remaining in the entire Caribbean. It is not functional. It stopped working. It stopped being used in terms of operation in 1947, but you can go to the windmill and have a tour there. As I said, if you're there between January and April when they're harvesting sugar, you may get an example of how everything works. On the left-hand side, you have Forty Hill National Park, absolutely beautiful park. Many years ago, this was actually a beautiful mansion, but it caught fire and the insides were gutted, but the structure remained. So the government then made it a national park. Beautiful sights and scenes right there in St. Peter. It was also attached to the Grenade Hall plantation. So the Great House was there. And before it was gutted by fire, it was actually featured in a movie called Island in the Sun in the 1950s, which featured Harry Belafonte. Bottom left, we see St. Nicholas Abbey. We spoke about that earlier. A lot of rich history there. And the bottom right, you see the cannon at Gun Hill Signal Station. We mentioned that Barbados has a lot of cannons on the island. Bridgetown, we have the Garrison Savannah, where the military would have been and still resides in Barbados. But a lot of cannons are around the island in some places that you wouldn't even think about. But that is because Barbados was so much valued by the British that they fortified it because of its value to the British Empire. Barbados actually had the name Little England. So we were known as Little England for many, many years because of how valuable we were to the British. And so the British sought to ensure that they protect their valuable possession. So you have cannons all around the signal station. You can see from the view that it looks out into the sea. So should any enemy want to invade, they, the British would have had, sight of them from early, and they could radio to the other lighthouses and signal stations across the island. We cannot speak about history and heritage without speaking about Bridgetown, which is our capital city. Bridgetown is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it also has the Garrison Savannah inside of it. Over 20 locations of historic sites, including the Parliament buildings, third oldest in the Commonwealth after Britain and Bermuda. George Washington House. This is the location where former American President George Washington stayed when he visited Barbados in 1751. And this is the only place that he visited outside of continental America. And as the story goes, his brother contracted tuberculosis. So they were advised to go to a warm weather destination that would help with his recuperation, and they came to Barbados. So the location where they stayed is now a museum. We have the Montefiore Fountain, the Nichols Building, Cod House, Memorial Monument, so much history to enjoy within Barbados and the historic garrison. And to give you a little bit more information on that, I have a nice little video here for you that gives you some great sights and scenes.
Barbados has been called the colony that founded colonies, with historic linkages to the United Kingdom, the Carolinas in the United States, and throughout the wider Caribbean. But none of this would be possible without the key hub of Bridgetown and its garrison. Explore historic relics like the last remaining screw dock in the world, or visit one of its several museums with the family, shop, have lunch, or take a glimpse into the island's military past. Come discover historic Bridgetown and its garrison.
There we have it, a great snapshot of some of the historic entities and locations to enjoy in Bridgetown and the garrison. So we spoke about sugar and rum, we spoke about historic Bridgetown and other unique and historic places. We also have to speak about food. Now, Omar can tell you, Barbadians love their food. And if he doesn't agree with me, I will tell you that we love our food, but I know that he agrees with me. Barbados, we love our food, and there's no surprise that Barbados is known as a culinary haven. We're the only country that is got rated in the Caribbean, and we got that rating many years ago. So we're known as the culinary capital of the Caribbean. We have a plethora of flavorful and colorful dining experiences. And we have things that go from local flair to international cuisine, gourmet safaris, food tour experiences, you name it, we have it. So here's a brief snapshot of some of the culinary experiences to enjoy on the island. So whether you want fine dining, casual, sports bar, local shops and restaurants, vegan and vegetarian options, the list is here for you, and this list is not even exhausted. So many options on the island to enjoy. Of course, our hotel partners, they also have great options to enjoy within their properties, so you wouldn't have to worry about food on the island. There's so much to enjoy, so many experiences to enjoy, that you will certainly leave Barbados with a belly full, as we would say. And then not only is it a case where we are showcasing our food, but there are also culinary stories to enjoy. We know that these days, many persons, as they travel, want to make cultural connections. So they want to take it to a deeper level. So we have cooking classes on hand, market tours, allowing persons to have that immersive experience, and enjoying that fresh local cuisine from the farm to the table cuisine that they're looking for. So you can learn about sustainable agriculture, waste reduction, and energy conservation in Barbados, and how we use that to link to the production of food. Hotels are using ingredients from their on-site gardens. I was telling Danny before in a prior conversation that I remember having a site visit at Colony, and they gave me mint ice cream, and the mint came from their garden. That was very, very beautiful. And that's one of the examples of how hotels are have gardens on property, and they use what is produced there to put into their meals, creating fresh meals for their guests. Visitors can also purchase fresh local fruit at the markets. Restaurants are focusing on using local produce. We have, for those who are into desserts, chocolate and gourmet cheese that are made in Barbados. And you can also, do tours where these things are concerned. And you have chef classes on vegan and Barbadian cooking. So here's a quick picture of some of the culinary things to enjoy. You have your local markets here. So every Saturday morning, Barbadians head to the markets to buy their fresh produce, produced by local farms on the island. And during the week, supermarkets, they have their partners. We like to keep things as fresh as possible as we can. Here we have the Peg Farm and Nature Reserve. So they have information about, free range animals, information on farming, educational programs. They have a 108-acre plantation. So anyone can go to the Peg Farm and interact with the grazing animals, learn about plant life, learn about their healing properties, taste the flavors of the food they create using items produced on the farm. It's all about educating persons about eating fresh, eating healthy, and enjoying what the country is producing. Yeah. And we spoke earlier about the chocolate factory, and we spoke about chocolate tours. So here we have the Agape Chocolate Factory. You can do tours here. You can make some artisan dark chocolate. You can have gourmet dairy-free and gluten-free ice cream, and these also present, themselves as beautiful gifts. So you can certainly, shop and purchase your gifts to bring back with you and share with those persons, some of the things you enjoyed on your Barbados experience. So we spoke about sugar and rum fats, the history, we spoke about food, and lastly, we're going to briefly touch about our natural beauty. Now, Barbados' natural beauty goes even to its name. It's because of our natural beauty that we got the name Barbados. When the Portuguese first came to the island, they saw this tree right here, the bearded fig tree, and it resembled to them like a man's beard, like a very long beard. Yeah. And so they named it Los Barbados, which means the bearded ones. So translated in English, you get Barbados. So lots of these trees are on the island. I know Fairmont Royal Pavilion, they have one on property. So you can enjoy trees like this and many more across the island. Many of the hotels, they have so many trees and different species of trees on their properties that they actually conduct, property tours with the guests who are into, flora and fauna, and show them, different names of the trees, describe them, what they're known for, that kind of thing. So much to enjoy on the island where natural beauty is concerned. And then right here, we have a snapshot of the Animal Flora Cave and Harrison's Cave. Now, I know that you've seen my background, so I'm actually coming to you from Harrison's Cave, virtually, of course. But Barbados, because we are flat, as I mentioned earlier, we have coral-based terrain. We have a lot of caves on the island. So right here, Animal Flora Cave in St. Lucie, because of the wave action over the years, you get these little natural pools. You can go in and, feel the fresh breeze, window to the sea. You have your natural water pools there. People going there just to explore, have a little dip sometimes. And then Harrison's Cave right there in the heart of Barbados, St. Thomas. Beautiful stalactites and stalagmites. The cave was first discovered in the 1600s. It was on the land of a gentleman called Thomas Harrison, hence the name. And then in the 1980s, it was rediscovered and explored. And, we were able to create an opportunity for persons to enjoy some of the beauty and the freshness that the cave presents through a tour. So you can go in on a tram, have your tour guide, have your driver, or if you're more adventurous, you can do what these two folks are doing here and actually wade through the waters in the cave, creating for a next level experience, right? And the natural beauty continues on the eastern side of the island. We have Bathsheba. So the eastern side, that's where the Atlantic Ocean is still very much in its natural habitat, picturesque, beautiful, fresh air. And this is one of the areas that a lot of Barbadians go to when it's like a public holiday, just to get away from the hustle and the bustle of life. Up here you can have a great lunch, enjoy the fresh breeze. I myself have been there so many times on public holidays, but even during regular business hours, a lot of our island tours make stops at Bathsheba. It's very, very picturesque. We've even had persons come to shoot movies and shows here. There's a show called The Bold and Beautiful, and they actually had a segment here at Bathsheba when someone was kidnapped. They were kept in that little pink hut you see right there as part of the show. So many things to enjoy there. For those who are surfers or surfing enthusiasts, here's where surfing happens. We don't encourage swimming at Bathsheba because it is rugged and the Atlantic Ocean is, a bit stronger than the Caribbean Sea. So we don't encourage swimming, but here for surfing, it is spot on, great for surfing. And here's where we have our Soup Bowl and the World Surfing League. They come every year and they have a surfing leg right here at Bathsheba. Then on the right-hand side, you have Cocoa Hills Forest. You can do some exploring in there. You can also look at some of the food that's growing there. Great experiences to enjoy right there at the Cocoa Hills Forest. And then lastly, we come to the Barbados Wildlife Reserve, because within our nature and our beauty, we have some great animals and great species to that you can explore. And this wildlife reserve was established by a Canadian primatologist, Mr. John Ballou, and his wife, and they founded the Primate Research Center on the island in 1982. And they studied green monkeys and, of course, conservation. The green monkeys were indigenous to Barbados, brought to the island in the 17th century from West Africa, Senegal, and Gambia. And then in 1985, they expanded that into what is today known as the Barbados Wildlife Reserve. So you have your turtles, you have iguanas, your peacocks, and it's very, very beautiful. There's a path that they constructed throughout the reserve, so you can walk along that path and view some of the many animals that are there. I've been there many times as a student coming up in school, and they continue to do an excellent job. So ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. Here's the information of Barbados in terms of our website and our Instagram and Facebook pages. Of course, my information is here, but more importantly, we have Danny's information along with Debbie. And as I said before, we would have been going through quite a few things in the presentation, but Danny and Debbie, they're the persons that you can contact for any further assistance you may need, any questions you may have. They know how to get into contact with persons like myself, like Omar, like Elaine. So if you miss anything, don't forget there will be a recording. But if you have any further questions, contact Danny, contact Debbie, and they can be of assistance, okay? So with that, Danny, I'll pass it back over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Jason, Elaine, and Omar for an enjoyable presentation on what should be on the minds of Caribbean travelers, which is a visit to the island of Barbados. I was taking some notes as you went through the presentations. There's so many things I could comment on. I'll have to narrow it down because we've gone way over our allotted time here, but I've experienced seeing the green monkeys amongst the almond trees. That was really quite a fascinating experience for us. Driving on the left, I've been on Caribbean islands where you had to do that, pull off, read a map, and then pull out, start driving on the right. Not a good thing to do. So yes, be aware of that. I do have a question as far as the isolation at resorts. If you are isolated on the resort, and perhaps I can direct that to Elaine and Omar, or perhaps you, Jason, could take it. Do they have full use of the resort if they're isolated?
So it depends on if they are fully vaccinated or unvaccinated. Yeah. If you're unvaccinated, you will be restricted to your room. Right, until you complete your second test. So the 5 days, then you have your second test. And then until that result comes back, then you're free to explore the property and, go further into Barbados. But if you're not vaccinated, you have to stay in your room until you finish that period. If you're vaccinated, I believe that they give you a little more leeway of enjoying the property. Mm-hmm. But I know every property may have their own restrictions as well, outside of what the government may have. So it's just a matter to find out what it is exactly that is allowed. But all that information is on the Travel Protocols website. But the good thing is that for fully vaccinated travelers, once they come in with their PCR test, and that's great, and then they get their second test upon arrival, within a day or so, they'll be out. Because the results usually come back within 24 hours. So within a day, they'll be free to explore not only the property, but Barbados.
Good. I just want to jump in there quickly. Basically, from what we've been experiencing now, guests who are fully vaccinated, they're getting back their results within hours. So let's say you arrive in Barbados around 3 o'clock. By 8 in the evening, you'll be getting back your results. So just an estimated time. Now, for those that basically are fully vaccinated and they're coming to any of our hotels, you're not limited to your room. You can use the pools, you can go around to the restaurants and such like. So it's just that you won't be able to leave the property. Those are guests that are fully vaccinated but are just awaiting the test they had to take on arrival. But so far, we have not come into any issues as it pertains to going over the 24 hours. The results have been coming back well within 24 hours, just a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes for a very strong argument for people to make sure they get their vaccinations, and of course wait for the 2 weeks afterwards, so that their time is not restricted on the island. Thank you for that. A comment on pre and post stays. We have done both. When we visited Barbados, we had a land stay that was 10 days long. Really enjoyed that, of course, because we got a chance to wander around the island and see some of those beautiful old abandoned sugar mill windmills, frames. Yeah. And in fact, on one of the resorts that we stayed, they actually had made that, this is how big they are, they had made that into a destination wedding location, which I thought was kind of neat. Yeah. And pre and post, add 2 or 3 days before, 2 or 3 days after, or a week before, or a week after, certainly is a very good idea. If you're traveling down there, why not add a few more days and get some more enjoyment. I'm really impressed, Omar and Elaine, with the buildup of all-inclusive resorts. When we visited on our land stay, I think there were only like maybe 3 or 4 resorts that had all-inclusive. In the North American market, particularly the Canadian market, that's what travelers are interested in, all-inclusive. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but that just seems to be the way we flow. So it's great to see the proliferation of all-inclusive resorts there. I think it'll make it much more attractive to Canadians. Elaine, one wedding, and of course, Omar, you mentioned the same thing. One wedding or a special anniversary per day is a great philosophy. I have been at resorts, I won't name them, where I've had 3 brides standing in view of each other, waiting for the next turn at the wedding location. And it just seems to me it takes away some of that special moment to see 2 other brides when you're preparing for your wedding. So one wedding a day is a great idea. The only drawback, of course, is that if you're very popular and somebody wants your resort for a wedding and that date is taken, well, we got a problem there, I guess. And the long stay option for, it's funny. I've been over the winter time, especially through COVID, I've been watching different resorts promote the business stay. Come down and stay at our resort for a month. We'll make sure you have a good internet and that you can conduct business. I'm not saying that that's what we would be promoting, but the idea of going down for a long stay. I know we had talked about prices and they certainly seemed very reasonable. So long stay in Barbados? Absolutely. Why not? So, and resorts, Omar, that have close proximity to shopping and to towns, wonderful. Get off the resort, go on your own, and find out what the lives of Barbadians or Bajans is all about. That's wonderful. And the idea that I've seen this with resorts, some resorts in other locations where you can go to one and play at 3 and enjoy, the amenities, the restaurants. You've taken it to a new level with your properties here, and it's absolutely fantastic. I have experienced that. Stay at 1, play at 3, and really enjoyed it. I just can imagine how much more enjoyable it would be to have 6 or 7 resorts to visit and check out their restaurants too. So that's wonderful. Let's see. I guess that's pretty well it. Complimentary spa treatments. Go fishing. That was really kind of neat. Go out and fish with the chef and catch your own fish. We have a fish up here called a sculpin, which is not very enjoyable. It's full of spikes. That's not the fish we'd want to catch for meals, but I'm sure you'd be able to catch lots and lots of great kind of fish in that situation. And how to make that so personal. So that's wonderful as well. So thank you very much, to Jason, Elaine, and Omar for your take on Barbados. It's certainly given me a lot more information. I've been there a couple of times, as I say, and you've filled in a lot of information as well. Okay, so to close, I would like to ask people who are on the presentation tonight to consider showing up or passing along the word, at least if you know anybody that's a woman traveler that is single, solo, divorced, or has a spouse that doesn't like to travel or can't travel. Next week, we'll be doing our final presentation. That's June 29th at 6:30. With Mary Barnett of Sita Tours. It's a company that's been in business for over 80 years. And in the last 8 years has developed a division that looks specifically after women's travel. So the June 29th presentation will be focusing on ancient Greece, myths and legends, and a trip to ancient Egypt. And we've been to both of those locations. Egypt actually is the top trip of my life up to this point. So certainly not what CETA is limited to, but certainly a good idea for you to show up if you're in that situation, single or solo women's travel. Please feel free to pass the word along. So again, folks, Jason, Elaine, and Omar, want to thank you very much for the time that you've spent on this. It has been very enjoyable for me, and I'm sure those who have been on